We are honored to welcome David Boies here tonight.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here this evening. It is a little intimidating. I'd like you to reflect for a moment how you would like to speak after Christine and Andrew. But the issue here is so important to me, and I think to everyone here, and I think to everyone in this country, that I would go anywhere and I would speak after anyone to speak on the importance of ending the last official discrimination that our government imposes on its citizens. Our Constitution begins, "We the people." When the Constitution was written, we the people meant essentially white, male, straight property owners. Over the course of the last more than 200 years, we have consistently expanded the circle of who is the we that is included in the promise of our constitutional guarantees. We have seen those guarantees extended across racial lines, across gender lines, across religious lines and ethnic lines. And there's only one area in our country in which the government still discriminates against its own citizens. There are many areas of social discrimination. There's much that we have to do as a society to change the kinds of social discrimination that our citizens continue to confront. But there's only one area in which our government steps in, not as a protector of individual rights, but as the discriminator, saying you are not equal. You don't have the full rights of all of your citizens. And it is that we are attacking when we attack Proposition 8. It's that we're attacking when we attack DOMA. The victories the legislative victories that have been achieved over the last 10 months have been terrific. If you go back and you think 24 months ago, how many of us in this room would have predicted that legislatively we would have repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, that legislatively you would have marriage equality in New York? But through the inspired leadership of people like Senator Gillibrand, who led the fight to end Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and Governor Cuomo, who led the fight here in New York to make all of us again proud to be New Yorkers. And think what it was like to be behind Massachusetts or Iowa. Thanks to Governor Cuomo and all of the other people who worked so hard on this, New York is now positioned to take a leadership role in really ending the last vestiges of this kind of discrimination. But there will be places and there will be laws that we are not going to be able, in any kind of reasonable time frame, to deal with purely legislatively. There is a reason that we have a Constitution. There's a reason why we have a Bill of Rights. There's a reason why we have an Equal Protection Clause. And that is because certain fundamental rights are too important to be left to the determination of a majority as to which of its citizens will have those rights. Think how long we would have waited to permit interracial marriage if we'd left it up to the voters of Virginia and not decided that in Loving against Virginia in the United States Supreme Court. In the Proposition 8 case, we set out to prove three things, and we told the judge and we told the other side, right at the beginning of the trial, there's no hiding the ball, we told them exactly what we were going to prove. We said we were going to prove that discrimination in marriage harmed American citizens. It harmed gay and lesbian couples who wanted to get married, and it harmed the children that they were raising. And we said, second, we're going to prove that discrimination in marriage doesn't help anybody. It doesn't add a single bit of social welfare to anyone else. It doesn't threaten straight marriage. It doesn't have any disadvantages. And the third thing we said we were going to prove was that marriage was a fundamental right. And the other side first conceded that marriage was a fundamental right. They just said it didn't apply to gays and lesbians. We then went to trial, and we put their witnesses on the witness stand, subject to cross-examination. And I tell you, it's easy for a bigot to get up and make a speech to a friendly audience or even an unfriendly audience when he or she can make those statements without cross-examination. But the witness stand under oath is a lonely place to lie. And we put fear and hatred and prejudice on trial in the Proposition 8 case, and we put those people on the stand and we made them answer questions. And the people that they picked, the so-called experts that they picked, ended up admitting that yes, marriage inequality did harm gays and lesbians who could not marry and harm the children that they were raising. And yes, they could not come up with a single piece of evidence that suggested that that kind of discrimination helped anybody. We won that at the trial. That's now up on appeal. We've won a victory in DOMA on the trial level. That's going up on appeal. This battle isn't over yet. And it may be that there are some complicated legal issues that may end up having the California case only apply to California, and we may have to bring additional lawsuits in other parts of the country. But however many lawsuits it requires, and no matter how long it takes, there will be marriage equality across this country, and we will end this last bastion of prejudice and discrimination by our government against its citizens. Thank you.